Good morning, my LinkedIn family. I hope you all are well. You can see I'm sitting in a very strange place at the moment because in the whole house there are three kids who are studying. So they have kind of seized three rooms in this house, and I've been thrown in a location where there are stuff lying up. There are cereals and stuff. So I'm just sitting in a very awkward situation at this moment. But it is really glad to be with you and. And talking to you. So today you probably have noticed that I did not do my morning live session that I do at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time every day, every working day. And there was a reason behind that. And I briefly mentioned it yesterday that I will be bringing a superb guest speaker to speak to you and to speak to me also about transformation and growth. And that speaker is with us at the moment. So I'm just giving her uh, a little while to settle down and get ready for this live session while people are joining me in this live. So thank you very much. Please make yourselves known. Just put in from where have you joined in this session so that I could recognize you. We have Dimitris joining in. Thank you very much for joining in here. I think you're joining in for the first time. So thanks for that. And I'm sure other people are joining in as well. Uh, we have, yeah, from where are you joining in? Can you please share? I can't see your name as a user. We have Omar joining in from UAE. We have Shazad joining in from Bhabalpur. We have Naeem joining in from Abu Dhabi. We have Najib joining in from India. We have Ali Baloch joining in from Pakistan. We have Risto joining in from Finland. Hi, Risto. I hope you're well. We have Shahid Chaudhry joining in, my dear friend Shahid from the UK. And Shahid is in the publishing business. He's a digital publisher, a very, very knowledgeable person. And I would recommend anybody writing a book or interested in writing a book or ebooks must connect with Shahid. Suhail, good evening. Raja joining in from Canada. Thank you very much, yeah, Raja. From Bahamas, Jarnal from Bahamas. Thank you very much. Um, Khatija joining in from all the way from Niagara. Well, not too far. It's like 2 hours drive from here. So, without any further delay, I will bring in Laura Workman, our guest today in this session. To this session. Good morning, Laura.
Hi, good morning.
And thank you very much for sparing time from your very, very busy schedule. I know you have been very busy in your coaching and transforming organization and people
Yeah.
business. But it's really glad to have you here. And as you know, my objective is to, I mean, okay, money making part is very important because we all have to put food on the table, right? But at the same time, giving back to the community and helping people learn something new is also something that I'm very, very passionate about. And I've been contributing my time and people like you who contribute, and this really gives me such a pleasure. So thanks for that. Um, I've actually gave a bit of information about Laura, who she is, and what she is going to bring on to this session. But for those who have not read it, I mean, people are not in the habit of reading things. So very quickly, Laura is a business strategist and high performance coach, and she has a coaching business with the name of Thrive Performance Coaching, based in the state of North Carolina, beautiful North Carolina. And before she started this business, she had been in the corporate sector, and her focus in the corporate sector was transforming sales and leadership teams, increasing performance, and kind of coaching them to steer through from ups and downs of this business thing that happens around us. And her specialization, I mean, there are four areas, basic areas, and there are, when we coach, there are certain broader areas and there are certain areas that come within. So strategic planning, corporate strategy, branding strategy, sales and marketing strategy. Um, and this is like a very brief snapshot of what she does. Uh, Laura, would you like to share about yourself a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. This is my first LinkedIn Live. I'm really excited about it. So to give you a little bit of background, I've actually been in the aesthetics, the beauty industry for the last 10 years, and I very much have focused a lot in any position that I've been in, whether it's owning my own company previously or working, is that it always revolved around people. So for me, my passion is within the people and transforming them. So I was that crazy person that during COVID resigned from my job, which I don't know if I recommend. However, it's worked out really well. And just like, probably any of you, life is a journey and it's a collection of all of these experiences. And throughout the years of working with developing high performance teams, leading people to be the best version of themselves, I took the opportunity during COVID to say, how can I truly make a difference in this world for a greater impact in utilizing my talents? I think we all know leadership is not selfish. So you give everything to everyone else. And what I did is I stepped back for a moment and I started to listen, and I started to take a good look at the results that I was getting just from taking the opportunity to care so much about helping others to transform and develop. And I made the initiative to say, I'm going to start my business now, and I want to help business leaders, business owners be able to transform from the inside out, to really focus on getting to the core of their people to drive high profitability and reach these business strategies that we are all looking to attain and achieve. So I'm really excited. This is my, this has all been new for me. I've had tons of challenges and lots of great opportunities, but I've put my passion, I've put my beliefs and all of my talents, and I've already hit, goals for quarter 1, and it's only January. So I'm excited.
So that's really great. I mean, as so I actually started my passion, and I kind of turned it into monetization, my LinkedIn and my social branding passion, right at the beginning of COVID, which was like literally 1st of April, because I was on a full-time job until 31st of March, working as the director for Asia program for a big US not-for-profit, and my contract was ending on 31st of March. So I started kind of building it up, but literally from 1st of April, I was in business, right in the heart of COVID. And but see, this is what we call reinventing ourselves, right? Utilizing our talent, and kind of trying to focus on one or two low-hanging fruits that we can pick, and just use them as our own bait, to move on, to do more, and kind of put in more energy into it. This is exactly what you just said. It was difficult times. I mean, everybody thought COVID is a difficult time, but you see, there are certain companies, there are individuals who actually thrived during COVID also. Look at supply chain industry. Completely transformed from what it was. Now everybody is talking about crisis-based supply chain strategies. And my dear friend Mudassir, who is world's number 1 supply chain blogger, I was chatting with him. I mean, I mentored him. I've been mentoring him for the past 6 years, and he was saying, it's a complete shift. So a lot of things that these, like, thought leaders are thinking is to kind of how do we capitalize on this opportunity, and a lot of people are thinking this is not really an opportunity. So so those who are thinking it's not an opportunity are actually people who are still suffering. 10, 11 months in COVID. A lot of people are still not realizing that they can actually utilize their talent or identify their talent and use it for themselves. What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, at least for me, my greatest challenge was truly my own personal limiting beliefs. And I think we can all say that about ourselves. I looked at my experience to say, "Oh, I'm not an expert in this or I'm not an expert in that." So how do I'm kind of stuck in this 8 to 5 thinking I have to work all these hours and work so hard to be successful. And I think that's what it comes down to it. And this is exactly how we do pivot in this time.
Yeah, and the pleasure that you get of this success. So I mean, I worked in corporate sector for 35 years. I worked in 10 countries, 10 nationalities, ethnicities, multiple ethnicities. People speaking different languages, different religions, and all that. And believe me, I enjoyed thoroughly. Every moment of my career, I enjoyed it. I learned, and I helped people learn. But since I started my own initiative, there are these challenges. I work almost 12 hours, well, 10 at least, if not 12, every day, trying to solve all those issues that I have, and still delivering things that I have to deliver on, like coaching and, helping people with their profiles and all that. But the pleasure that I get of that is something that I can't really put a number to it. If I put it from a scale to 1 to 10, I can't really explain how kind of satisfying and fulfilling that is. Is this the same case with you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure you all can see these big circles under my eyes. So, no, you're working those long days, absolutely. But that's what it comes down to. You're making an impact and you're pouring into yourself at the same time. So, for me, that gratification is when I hear from others. I see businesses that are successful. I leaders and man are leaders and business owners that are a little bit less stressed and they're enjoying what they got into business to do. That's not even just the secret sauce. That's the motivation to keep moving. So there's lots of early mornings, lots of weekends. I see you on LinkedIn a lot too. We're messaging each other. You've been such a great support. But that it's hard work every day and serving those around you. That's how you transform and that's how you truly make a difference.
Absolutely. No, I fully agree with you, and allow me to tell this interesting story about how did we started kind of this relationship, which turned into this great friendship that we have now. Uh, so she came. I mean, somehow we got connected through a LinkedIn group, and she was pivoting at that time from her corporate. Uh, Job to this coaching business, and Laura spoke to me about her profile. I reviewed her profile and it was obviously not in the right shape, and so we spoke, and then she took me on board to get her profile revamped. And during the process, I realized that there are certain issues which are like beyond her profile, which were like she was working on her website, and there were like certain things that were not right. I mean, for at least from somebody else's perspective, like why don't you edit your own stuff, because it's your baby and you like it, and you can't really see it from 360-degree angles. So I took her permission. If she is interested, I could help her with like fixing few things on her profile, or at least suggesting few things. And I did that, and she implemented all those ideas. And the last one I remember was you had different emails
I
given on
was
your website. Yeah, I mean, this happens, right? Because you were actually doing everything yourself. Uh, so that's how this whole relationship turned from a business relationship to a more professional relationship. And Laura is the second person I brought onto my live shows. The first one was Rehab from Tunisia, and she is the second one. who is on my live session. So that's for see. So the thing is that I was very happy and very confident the way Laura picked everything up and started running with it. Uh, that sprint, which is I call a never-ending sprint for any solo entrepreneur who is in this business and is trying to do everything themselves. But eventually, we all have to see, do we need a virtual assistant to work with us? Do we need to outsource things? And that time will come because my time has come and I have started outsourcing stuff which I can't really put time on. So I'm rebranding. I'm sort of almost revamped my website, and I'll share with you, Laura, my new website. You will love it. But again, when you bring in experts with you, the point that I want to come to, when you bring in an expert with you who has done it, been there, and has an experienced person in that particular domain, it really helps you move on and helps you transform. So
Mhm.
with that point, let's start with the core topic that we have is this. So how do we achieve transform growth by looking at transformation as the key kicking point, really?
Yeah, so that was definitely a lot there. First off, I think transformation, it does. It starts with yourself. So just I sat down and I wrote down all of my strengths, all of my opportunities. I worked with a coach myself as well. And I said, okay, I rate 98% in this category and I rate 7% in this category. I need to go find amazing individuals such as yourself. And through that, when we talk about transformation, it's probably very easy that we think we can just take on everything and complete everything that we set our minds to, but it truly is a process. And first and foremost, it's getting yourself focused in the right mindset. For me, it was really a matter of writing down my vision, writing down, I needed to know my belief system, my values, because that who you are on the inside needs to also be presented in a professional manner as well. When we're trying to portray ourselves as something that we're not, that's just a recipe for not being successful. And so for me, it was really focusing on using my energy and like I said, taking the opportunity to look at those around me. What was the impact that I was making? What were my talents able to fill for needs of others? And that's truly when transformation started to begin. It's dedication as well. It's hard work. And I think right now with our generation, we sometimes want things to come so easy to us. If it gets
Yeah.
hard, we make a jump for the next job, or we go here, we go here. And it's really about what we're focusing on for ourselves, because that comes internally, and that's the discovery that we find. And yes,
Yes.
it's all about how you perceive yourself.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you very much for joining in. Dave uh, is uh, is a is a great mentor. I call him a mentor because I follow his posts regularly. And anybody on this session at the moment, this is an opportunity to connect with each other. So you don't know who is that one connection that can take you from wherever you are to your next level. So please connect with each other. Connect with Laura because she's great, and you're going to learn a lot from her posts. And connect with Dave, and there are other people around in this live at the moment who you can connect with. I mean, connect with everybody. We have Amal Rabbani. Thank you very much, Amal, for joining in. And Khadija, she's a branding expert. So all these great people are there, and as I always say, we all are amazing. We just don't know that how amazing we are. So let's take this as an opportunity, and also ask questions. If you have any questions in mind, please ask, and we will be happy to uh, we'll be happy to pick those questions. Maybe not every question, but we have plenty of time. We have another 20-25 minutes in this session. And if you, and there is no wrong question. So, don't, even think if this is a silly question, maybe just ask it, because you don't know, asking that question may help somebody in this group, you actually. So be there and ask this question and stay with this session throughout. My first question here is, you said that we have to start literally planning and kind of building our goals towards achieving an objective. But
Mhm.
often what I see, I mean, you probably get these questions also. I get these questions a lot. People ask me, we don't know what we need or what we want or where we want to achieve. How do we address these? I mean, if somebody comes to you with these three things, and you need to really work with that person to help him transform, what would be first one or two things that you would do?
First, I think it's going back to that self discovery. And, it's sometimes we just need to limit that noise around us. And there are moments, and it's happened to me as well, when you share goals with multiple people around you, you start to hear others' views of what your goals should be. And so the first thing is really taking an opportunity to continue to ask why. Why do you want to get there? What is the purpose? What is the impact you plan to make? How does it impact your own life? So really getting to the why of, what that goal is and how does that help you achieve where you want to go and also help others. From there, I think we need to look at these, I just said these limiting beliefs. What are these obstacles? What's getting in the way? And really be able to identify those threats that may come our way and coming up with a plan on how that we can overcome that. From there, I don't know, I'm like the queen of SMART goals. My family is on SMART goals. I feel so bad for them. But from there, we need to identify some SMART goals. And I'm a firm believer in, and even when I started this business, it's identifying those small goals and perfecting that. And you saw if when I was trying to do a website, my LinkedIn, all these things that I really wasn't passionate about, it started to jumble my thinking and my purpose of where I was at. So I really started to chunk them down into small goals,
Yes.
achieve that, and move to the next one. And honestly, that's how I'm able to move so much faster.
Yeah. So ideally, what I'm trying to kind of I'm a big fan of simplifying things. So I mean, you said it so simply, but ideally, if you are really interested in growing and really want to move on, you need to find your first goal or first target, and you have to be looking at your SMART goals. You have to be achievable goals that you can achieve. So if I say, I want to reduce, I'm talking about myself, 20 kilograms in a year, that's something which may not be achievable. And I would never do it, because something which is not achievable, your mind does not really click, and you will never be able to kind of move on and trying to achieve it. But if I say, okay, I can probably reduce 5 kilograms, and that's something achievable, right? And again, it has to be time driven. So simplify your goals and start moving ahead, because you see, the way I mean, I try to kind of, I use these things that I've learned over the years. Think about it. Any step forward will only take you forward. It cannot take you backward. So keep moving on, keep taking that one step, be it a baby step, but that baby step will take you forward. So that's the message that I have. Let me recognize one person, Angelo Pucci from my Connecting GTA community. I am member of Connecting GTA Business Club, and Angelo is a very active member. Angelo, thanks for joining in. I hope you will stay with us throughout the session. Some questions have started pouring in, so let's start looking at few questions. We'll probably take one or two, and then we move on and discuss something else, and then we'll take one or two questions. So this is a question from Jolene, and she says, "What would you suggest? What would you say when the what would you say was the defining moment for you to branch out and begin your business?" Great question. I think you mentioned it a little bit in the beginning, but a brief response, I think, would be great.
Yeah, that's a really great question, Jolyn. Thank you. So, like I talked about before, I think life is a journey of all these different collections, and there were moments that I probably wasn't as much aware of throughout the course of this transformation. My defining moment truly was burnout. When I was, like many of us, I was furloughed with COVID-19, and it took me weeks to be able to calm down, kind of regroup myself. And I realized, oh my word, at this moment, I'm exerting so much energy because I may not be in the right position that I'm in. I'm good at it, but it's not fulfilling my purpose. I'm not using my talents. And so that was my defining moment. I unfortunately was leading a team of about 100, and I was the only one that came back to for resignation. But I felt so strongly that this is my moment right now to pivot, to be able to take these talents to help multiple companies, multiple business owners, including my current one.
Right. This is great. Yeah. So it is. So the moment at which you decide to transform yourself is the moment.
It is,
Uh,
yes. You can
yeah.
look at, and it's funny too, because I focus a lot on leadership coaching. And I came from a really great company. I came from a brand I loved, absolutely loved. It was the hardest decision to make. I remember there was one specific thing that it was said to me, and it was said that we appreciate our customers or our clients so much. We realize how important they were to us. And I stopped, and hearing that from your leader, I think, oh, I'm exhausted. And that was the moment I said, okay, this is where I need to use my talents to help all of these leaders, all of these business owners, that it's taking care of your people and it's transforming your organization from the inside out. And I made it a really great process for everybody. I did not leave anyone hanging, but I only thought at that moment, there's people like me that are so passionate and so great at their job that they're going to walk away from their company or from their leader. And so that was my pivotal moment right there.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And that's a point when you actually have to make a decision. You can have tons of plans in your mind, but if you don't implement those plans, what is the point? And I'm a big fan of actually writing down things. So, anybody who is really interested in pivoting, whatever your plans are, your smart goals, your ambitions and everything, write it down. If you don't write it down, it does not exist, because it just keeps piling up in your mind, and you forget what you kind of discussed or thought a day before or 2 days before. So if you have a document, I mean, what I do, I create a document. Even for my LinkedIn post, I create a document. I remember I told you also to create a document, and just keep putting your ideas so that you don't forget, and you have then content available to share and to talk about. Often we go back in our inbox and see emails that are very inspiring and that could give some ideas. We go in our document folder and we see, okay, we created this document 5 years ago, and this is a great document, a training that we conducted. So again, the idea is to implement, and just to share with the LinkedIn family that is with us today. I'm actually launching a 33-day growth challenge. My belief is that if we don't look at our growth, and if we don't implement those great ideas that are with us, uh, things will not change. I mean, frankly speaking, who knows COVID is going to go away or not? Who knows that situation will come back to the old normal? Whatever the new normal is, we are still experiencing, and this things are still kind of unfolding around us. So, I mean, Laura and myself, and there are others around us also. We are sort of an example of what we were able to achieve in this short period of time and in this situation. So we probably have done something interesting, right? So with that in mind, I'm starting a 33-day challenge, growth challenge, uh, and I'm going to take like people through an application process, a group of people who are committed. Uh, to be very frank, initially I'm seeing whether there is an interest, and we could expand it to a 60 days challenge. So 33-day challenge, there is no fee to for joining in, and anybody interested here, I'm going to announce it next week, and kind of take that on from there. So I thought I just take that as an opportunity. We have more questions coming in. Guru, he's asking, what do you think the most important thing quality of an entrepreneur is? So, what is the one of the most important quality that entrepreneurs has in your experience? Have in your experience?
That is so easy to answer. It's passion. You have to love what you do. You have to be passionate about it. If you are, especially going into an entrepreneurial state, if you're not doing what you love, it's the hard work is going to seem even harder. And so you've got to be passionate, and it truly needs to be lining up with your beliefs and your values.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have another question: how to remain consistent, focused in whatever plan you made? I think this is also a good one.
Good one. I don't know. I feel like I have undiagnosed ADHD half the time, so I'm probably in the same boat as everyone else. That consistency is the hardest thing, and that's in every aspect of our life. One thing that's been a really successful practice for me is I have found activities that allow me to be moving and thinking at the same time, and being able to kind of redirect my attention so that I can stay focused on a goal. So it probably sounds kind of funny, but let me give you an example. So for instance, when I start to get sidetracked, I like methodical tasks. So cleaning my floor with headphones in or earbuds in to listen to a motivational podcast, or some type of a podcast that's going to help me to extract all of these ideas that I have. And just like we talked about, I carry a notebook around me all the time. So that gives me the opportunity to stay focused, but also hold myself accountable, but realize that I'm going to get sidetracked. It's going to happen. And so that's just been a little best practice that's helped me.
Great. So, and I have something interesting. Probably this is my age stuff. I learned it almost something like mid 90s. So I had a boss. I was working for British government at that time. I worked for them for 17 years actually. I had a boss who was a very rough and tough Scottish woman, a great coach, a great mentor, and I don't know how many. I mean, there's a younger community around us. How many of us actually know there used to be something called shorthand? So I know a lot of people don't even understand what it is. So shorthand and stenotypist, there used to be a category of specialization, uh, even in early 90s. Uh, so people could listen to you and write like certain uh, images of figures to actually convert them into a text, and that skill was a shorthand skill. Well, you can Google it if you want to. So she started at the Foreign Office, British Foreign Office, as a stenotypist, and she grew and she became deputy head of the mission, which was a very senior position. So when I worked with her, she was deputy head of mission in Karachi, Pakistan. And one thing she taught me, so there was some task I forgot about it. I mean, young fellow, what do you expect? So she said, Hamad, remember, throughout your life, always keep a notepad with you, a pencil and a paper, and note down what you have to do. Don't use post-it. She said,
Mm-hmm.
don't you put, because you're going to lose post-it. And that is a lesson that I've kept every morning when I get up, or even before I go to bed. I list down things that I have to do in the morning so that I don't miss out. I always use a calendar. Otherwise, I mean, the number of things that I do, if I don't use a calendar, I will forget. I'll forget meetings. I mean, we are human beings. So you have to be consistent and you have to be strategic in whatever you do. So thank you very much for that. We have one more question. we have several questions actually. Laura, your podcast, your live session is very popular. You're getting questions. That's great. So Amir is asking, how do we empower ourselves to empower others to add value to others? It's not complicated at all.
A little complicated. Okay, how do
Yeah,
we empower ourselves,
sorry.
empower others?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
That's a good
to
one.
add value to others, right? So
Mhm.
do you want to go? Do you want to hit that, or do you want me to hit this one?
Absolutely. I mean, I am all about inspiration and empowerment. So I feel like I keep saying the same thing. It starts with us, and it starts with dedication, and it starts with consistency. Um, if you were to be my friend and come into my life as my personal life is going to look the same as my business life. I am surrounded by positive people. I am a part of nonprofit groups. I volunteer. I lead when I'm able to. I have faith signs behind me. I listen to podcasts. I read books. And the more that we continue to pour into ourselves, because we're the only ones that are going to pour into us, right? So the more that we're pouring into us, the more that we are able to outpour unto others. And it changes the way that we speak. It changes our demeanor. It changes our actions, our natural actions. And that to me is truly how you are going to naturally empower others, by being that example.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember Jim Rohn, late Jim Rohn, saying that you are a reflection of an
I
average of five people around you. So I mean, technically, I mean, it's a complicated thing, but to simplify it, your environment determines who you become. So if you are with people who are empowering, who are willing to work with you, help others, you will become like them. And if you want to help people, inspire people, you have to inspire yourself first. You know, work on yourself, read a blog or listen to a podcast or do something and add value. I mean, adding value again, you know, people would probably value you or don't value you. You must not care about it. I mean, I do a live session every morning, 35 minutes. Do you think it's easy to do? It's not. I mean, for a lot of people, like doing a 5 minute session is difficult. Uh, but for to do that, I prepare myself. I have a topic that I decide that I'm going to speak about. I promote that session and I engage with people. You know, after the podcast, I get about 50 to 60, you know, inboxes and stuff, you know, people commenting, and I have to respond to that. So I'm committing my time to help people. So what is your commitment level? This is really, really important also. And so, Shazad, I think this is the same question, maybe in a different way. So, Laura has already responded that. Um, Andrea, yes, micro goals, baby steps as we call it. And, you know, you should really be converging to a bigger goal. All those micro goals should not be, you know, looking at too many things in a time. You know, you have micro goals, but all those micro goals must be converging to a major overarching goal. Yes, absolutely.
And I would
Uh,
love to,
sure, please.
I'd love to speak on that one for a moment,
Sure,
because
please.
especially anyone who is a leader on this call right now, one of the things that I've learned when you focus on transforming teams, and again, my passion is really to build a culture from the inside out to reach high profitability, and I'm a sales leader for that. So we know that we have to inspire others. So one thing I found so much is that sometimes when we take on all of these big goals, we feel the stress and we're giving that to others. One thing that's been such a successful practice for me, and I can see a couple managers on here, is that when we are leading with micro goals as well, you are able to increase the productivity of your teams. And then from there, that's a way that you inspire and empower somebody else, because think of the feeling of accomplishment that they're going to experience themselves. And then you start to see they increase, they're more excited. So I think that's really great to look at ourselves, but also to sometimes just by teaching others to do that, we're actually the ones that learn the most from it.
Absolutely, and this is like learning by doing it. So the lessons that you gain by working with people and kind of helping them implement their ideas is a great learning for us. We coaches, we live on that learning throughout our life. We have again another question from what do you do about the people who would discourage you when you do something different, follow your dreams? I mean, you will find these people around us. I mean, you'll find those people around us, even within our own family, because they don't know. Just you know, I mean, it's a tough word, but ignore them because they haven't done it, right? So they haven't done it. That people with no passion would discourage you. People who criticize you may perhaps are the better people if they're criticizing you for your betterment. But people who discourage you are not the people that you should be hanging out with. What do you think, Laura?
I think one of my favorite things to do with transformation is to figure out how to measure confidence. And you can measure it. You can measure it in productivity, you can measure it in behaviors, actions, all of that. So for me, and we all have energy vampires in our life, and we're always going to have energy vampires in our life. I think it's there's set boundaries that you can make, and that's okay. That's healthy. But when we're here to transform and make a difference in the world, we're there to make a difference in the world with everyone's life. And sometimes I just would encourage you to sit back and say, if they're trying to damage what you're focused on, where is their confidence level? What is it that they're needing? And we see that so much in teams and leaders that if somebody lacks confidence, they're typically going to tear down those around them.
Yes, so find those people and check them out of your life.
That's me.
Yeah, yeah. So no, people who are kind of pushing you towards or out of your scale, or they're kind of trying to defocus you, are not the right people that you should really be working with or hanging around with. As simple as I said. Um, we have tons of questions actually. So, Laura, I don't know how much time you have. I mean, we planned 45 minutes, but if you have a little bit more, we'll probably try to address a few more questions. This is really getting exciting. Um, and what I'm thinking now, while you were talking, is the discussion is so enriching that eventually, whenever I have time, I will transcribe it and turn it into a blog, and obviously, citing you and your thoughts around it, um, and that's going to benefit others also. So let's benefit others at this moment in time. We can really help people in our network, in your network, and that can happen only by doing one thing, which is click on share button on this live session. There's a share button. If you hit that share button, this live session will be shared with your followers and connections, and you will become the torchbearer of this message, which is transformation, growth through transformation. So please hit that share button and spread the message to a wider community, and it would take just less than 5 seconds. Um, we have Angelo saying that yes, Angelo, I know that you have been phenomenal, and you have been helping others transform, and you have got your own um, business that you have been doing. And he takes care of his customers, by the way. He's a realtor, a very, very known and respectable realtor in this region. So thanks for being with us today. Isto says, wonder if transformation is more about game setting than goal setting. Supporting transformation means changing your present paradigm. Yeah, so I would take it as a very interesting way of thinking. Uh, it's all about the games that we play in our life, and if we treat those as games and keep trying to win those games, uh, we do a lot in our life. What do you think, Laura?
Yeah, honestly, I could totally see that because at least for me, I had to change my game first, right? So if I'm going to
Yes.
play with the same players and I'm going to play on the same game, I'm going to be move into the same direction. So, when it came down to at least my own personal transformation, changing my mindset, my environment, all of that came first, and the goals came second.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I could definitely see what he's saying here.
Yeah. Shahid saying, okay, yes, break down your goals into little
Mhm.
steps, track them on a daily basis. Often we forget about tracking thing, self uh, monitoring is really important. And I actually spoke about this thing yesterday only, that in organization that we work with, whenever we are, I mean, a lot of us are in the still corporate sector, there are goals and there are KPIs, key performance indicators, that we follow throughout our year, throughout the cycle of that performance cycle. And often we forget that we can implement the same idea on ourselves. So thank you, Shai, for reminding that.
Mhm.
Chadwick, my friend, he's a phenomenal guy. I mean, believe me, he is he. So I don't know how to. I mean, he's a coach, and I'm working with him these days the way I work with you, Laura, and we are kind of coming up with some great ideas to kind of I don't
So,
know. I mean, it's still too early to, but so this is the right thing. Yeah. So often we don't really understand the potential, and we try to take a bigger bite, and we often are not successful in doing that. And maybe taking baby steps and taking smaller bites is the thing
mhm.
that we do. And this is what we have been doing, Chadwick, for the past almost month and a half or 2 months of this particular thing that we are trying to build up. So thanks for joining me, Chadwick. You are a true inspiration. Uh, yeah, Shehzad. So Shehzad, again, Shehzad is a client turned a friend. Uh, he is uh, he is into like very high level branding stuff. He's worked with top global brands, and he's still working with. I mean, he's not based in Canada, and he's working with a very major not-for-profit and transforming them these days. Energy vampires, yes. Oh my God, they can suck your energy really, really quickly. So get rid of them as soon as possible. Um, Shabir Kazmi is my mentor. He is one of the top economic journalist I've known from Pakistan, and I mentored him. He's my mentor as far as writing copy is concerned, but I mentored him in becoming active online, kind of creating his social presence about 10 years ago, and he's been doing very good on that. Um, and Chadwick, I think it depends on the level of individual are in their development, and they may have game, but they're stuck. Then you want to focus on your goals, and you need a coach at that time when you think that you're stuck. Chadwick, yeah, great point. You
Yeah.
need you need a coach at that point in time uh, to kind of look at you from a 360-degree angle and kind of help you pull out of from your situation, Laura.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that too. So, and that was something that helped me, just being able to. Sometimes it's even just doing an assessment,
Yes.
and having a coach work with you and just seeing something on paper to say, like I talked about before, wow, I rate 98% in these two categories and 11% here. So, how that reaching that goal is going to be very, very hard for me. So how do I go find professionals like yourself to help complement me and what I'm working on? So I think that's what a coach, just diving into the why and asking questions just to provoke that thinking is really beneficial.
Yeah, and again, you will find people during your journey. be it a corporate journey or journey as an entrepreneur, as a coach, there will be people who will come to you and they will ask you questions which you would think are, I mean, what? Like I got a message this morning and from someone and saying, I need $10,000. Can you help me, generate that $10,000 in a month? Because I say, I helped you grow on LinkedIn. Uh,
Mhm.
but you have to generate that $10,000. You have to, and again he said, I have no skill. So if you have no skill and you, so
That's
maybe you can raise donation if you want, but raising donation also needs skills, right? So this is great, Laura. I think we are 5 minutes above our agreed time, and you have been a great guest. You shared things that I'm sure will be helpful for many who are in the process of pivoting or have pivoted and are struggling. And there is no ending or no stopping to learning. So keep learning, uh, keep helping other people, because by helping other people you gain a lot of confidence and you learn a lot from them. With that, I would thank you again, Laura. As I said, I will hopefully in the process convert this conversation, an hour, almost 50 minutes conversation, into a transcript and get it transcribed. I have Ali Baloch in this group who is a great transcriber. I use him all the time, and write, kind of create a blog around it so that other people who are searching for topics such as transcribing would be able to uh, get some inspiration and help them move on. So at this point in time, please connect with Laura. You will learn a lot from her blog. Connect with me. I'm sure all of you are already connected. But follow my post. I'm going to launch this 33-day challenge soon. So keep watching, and please share this live podcast just by sharing share button. It will take 5 seconds. And thanks for appreciation, Nemat. Um, I'm doing it to help my community, and Laura has done a great thing by sparing 45, 50 minutes, 52 minutes now from her time to share her thoughts with us. So, Laura, any last thoughts, and we say adios to our community.
Yeah, just I thank you. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Anybody who would love to connect, I am all about community and we're here to support each other. So definitely get vulnerable, get uncomfortable. This was uncomfortable for me, but this is how we grow. And when you put your passion, your mindset in the right place, you're going to be successful. It will work out.
And with that, Laura, have a wonderful day ahead of you. Very successful, make lots of money, and and I mean, there is no. I mean, we have to make money to be able to provide for ourselves, for our families, and to help others also. Um, Even charities would not survive if they don't have money, right? So,
Mhm.
and I'm now getting a lot of awesomeness. Your awesomeness has been appreciated. Thank you very much. Thanks, Sylvia, for joining us. Um, Negotiating successfully. Yeah, I mean, what we do throughout our life is negotiating. I mean,
Mhm.
working with anybody and talking to even with our kids, and uh, I mean, it's all about negotiation and sales and all sorts of things combined. You label it whatever you want to label it. Whatever I will label it the way I want to label it. But thanks for being with us, and thanks for all the inspiration that you bring in as my LinkedIn community. You guys are awesome, amazing, and stay amazing. And thanks, Laura. I'll talk to you later, hopefully in a week's time, and we'll exchange notes. Thanks everyone for joining in. This has been a great session. And if you have any thoughts, ideas, you can always DM me. If you want to be um, part of that 33 days growth challenge, keep watching my posts. I'm going to announce it next week, and it will be an episode application-based process. I'm going to take about 20 to 25 people, max 30, depending on the quality of participant that we have, and the only commitment is your time. With that, Hamas Siddiqui signing off from Toronto and a bit of promotion.